Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. We're going to talk about Doctor Who. We haven't really talked about Doctor Who much on this channel because there hasn't been a lot of news to report on Doctor Who since Series 11 ended, and Series 12 is kind of up in the air. There hasn't been a lot of news about it other than rumors and a couple of leaked photos. But anyway, there is news. It looks like Chris Chibnall, showrunner, and Jodie Whittaker are staying for a 13th season of Doctor Who. That's right. It does not appear like they're leaving after Series 12, as a lot of people had speculated. Some people said that they thought they were gone after Series 11, which I never believed, to be honest. I thought they were at least going to stick around for Series 12, but now it looks like they're actually planning Series 13, so we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about sort of preemptively staving off the backlash, I guess we could talk about. Just yesterday on Digital Spy, they were talking about the episode Rosa, which is sort of the episode, I think, that divided the fandom over the new Doctor Who, the new direction of Doctor Who, where a lot of people felt that the show was getting too preachy. And star Tosin Cole says, no, you're ignorant. You're full of it. So we're going to talk about that. But before we get into the video, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants here on Clownfish TV. I think we hit 75,000 subs. We're hoping for 100,000 soon. So thank you so much for the support. So yeah, Chibnall is not out the door. Whittaker is not out the door. They're staying for Series 13. I don't know if I should be surprised by this or not. Now, the interesting thing about this article, which is coming from the Radio Times, is they talk about the fact that they are staying, but they also reiterate that this season is going to be bigger and better and more exciting. And that was the biggest criticism I had with the show. Like, I had no problem in Series 11 with the Doctor becoming a woman. A lot of people did, and they're entitled to that opinion, obviously. But I was like, well, this might mix things up, might make things interesting. I thought that the choice of companions were pretty good. I think the cast is decent. What I had a problem with was the show itself. The stories I thought were boring as hell. I thought Series 11 was boring. It was actually a chore to watch Doctor Who, and for me, it had never been a chore to watch Doctor Who, even when it wasn't really peak Who, I guess. It's just Series 11 for me, and just to reiterate, just felt very pedestrian. It felt very low budget. It did feel preachy. A lot of the episodes felt very preachy. Now, Doctor Who always was a pretty progressive show, but a lot of those hot topic, current issues were never shoved in your face the way that they were in Series 11. And it just felt like a totally different show. It felt like a totally different show. And I understand that, when you change showrunners, that things are going to feel different. There was a difference between, Russell T Davies era Doctor Who and Moffat era Doctor Who, but they still felt like there was some connective tissue between those two runs. And with Whittaker's Who run, it just feels like a totally different show. Like, they just basically rebooted the show completely, and it had a different feel to it. Definitely the budget seems to have taken a hit, even though the cinematography was good. I mean, the show looked good, but when it came to the special effects, when it came to the villains, it just really missed the mark, and it didn't feel big. Matt Smith era, David Tennant era Doctor Who felt big. It felt like a big galactic adventure on the small screen, and Whittaker's Who feels small. It feels very, very small. And, I don't know if it's because of, budget cuts or what the deal is, but it didn't do it for me. And I got bored, and I dropped off. And I never thought I'd drop Doctor Who, but I dropped Doctor Who about halfway through the series, and I came back to check out the New Year's special, and I was like, nah, I'm done. I'm done for now. But I will check out Series 12 to see if there has been an improvement. If there is no improvement, then I probably will not be back for Series 13. But Series 13 is going to be more Chibnall and Whittaker. So here we go. Radio Times. Doctor Who Series 13 is already in the works. Confirmed showrunner, series boss Chris Chibnall says the next series is already taking shape before Series 12 is even released. So he's not gone. He's not gone. According to series showrunner and head writer Chris Chibnall, he's blasting the rumors that he's set to depart the BBC sci-fi series. It's categorically untrue that I'm leaving, Chibnall told the Radio Times and other press during a visit to Doctor Who's Cardiff set. We're already planning the next series after this series. In other words, Chibnall and his writing team are already plotting ideas and storylines for where to take the Doctor and her friends in 2021 and beyond, even before we've seen what they get up to in this series. That's forward planning. And while this may not be an official confirmation from the BBC itself, the news will gladden Who fans hoping for more adventures from Whittaker's 13th Doctor and her team. Though according to Chibnall and his cast, there's plenty to look forward to in 12. Now, this is where it gets interesting. I have to wonder if there isn't a kernel of truth to all these rumors that there was some behind-the-scenes issues with Doctor Who between the BBC and Chibnall. Because, you know, they want to sell merchandise, they want the ratings to stabilize. The ratings started out very, very strong, and then they did decline. They did decline. There's no denying that. They totally declined throughout the course of the series. And there's been a lot of pushback, you know, from fans of the show. But one of the biggest complaints, again, is the show's been boring and it's been preachy. So it sounds like they're going to up the ante. It doesn't feel like we're regurgitating anything we've done before, Jodie Whittaker told us. It feels like we're treading new ground for each of the character journeys, the development of everyone's storylines. Well, that's good to hear. She felt more comfortable, she said, because playing it during my second season is obviously less nerve-wracking than day one of season one. Now it's my second skin. That is true. I mean, if you look at Doctor Who, you know, obviously Eccleston is not included in this discussion, but you look at Tennant, you look at Smith, you look at Peter Capaldi, and they were better for the most part in their second and third seasons than they were in their first. So that is true, but they can only work with what they've got to work with. And if the show is boring, then it doesn't matter how good Jodie Whittaker is. She's doing well in a boring show. So it feels like a step up, Chibnall agreed. It's probably more ambitious than last year. Scale, storytelling, everything. I would say we're aiming to keep moving forward and up. There are bigger moments this year. Good, because again, last season felt very, very small. It felt claustrophobic. It did not feel like the entire universe was opened up to the Doctor, and I was bored. You know, entertain me, BBC. Me personally, just entertain me. There are more stunts than last year by a country mile, I'd say, said Bradley Walsh. That's brilliant. Good. And according to Chibnall, after last series' attempts to appeal to a new audience, while simultaneously losing a large chunk of their old audience, I just have to put that out there. He's now hoping that future episodes can introduce them to the truly weird and wonderful world of Doctor Who. Okay. Last year was a recruiting year for the show, and I think we managed to recruit some people for the show. That's exciting. Obviously, we kept the existing audience and build on that. No. You did not. You did not. You did. I will agree you were trying to recruit a new audience with the show last year, and you may have succeeded in that, but you did not retain a lot of the old Doctor Who fans. That is untrue. I think this year we're developing that. So for all the people who are new to Doctor Who, we're going to go look at the amazing world of Doctor Who. Look at all the treats that are in there. So we're building on last year. Okay, so I was kind of hopeful, but now I'm like, it sounds like it's going to be more of the same tone of show. So I don't know how this is going to go. And not only this season, but next season as well. So we're building on last year. There are a lot of new faces, a few old faces. There has been a rumor that David Tennant is coming back, but he's coming back to basically get lectured by Jodie Whittaker. So I don't know how that's going to go over either. There are some things trickling through which might be important. It's different. It's the all new, all different Doctor Who that might actually be more like old Doctor Who, because we got to get those old school fans back while simultaneously appealing to a new audience. I am confused. It's wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey marketing stuff. I think you always need to take new big risks from a storytelling point of view. Yes, please do that, because last year was boring. Doctor Who has to exist in the modern television landscape. There's so much drama. There are so many shows. We have to continually find new reasons to be existing. Then make Doctor Who, and don't try to be a drama. Last year felt like it was trying to be a drama. There are plenty of those. Make Doctor Who freaking weird and wonderful and funny and engaging and entertaining. Make Doctor Who thoroughly entertaining, escapist entertainment, and people will come back. There's also loads of things the show hasn't done before. I think you saw last year, we took a lot of risks, and I think they paid off, and I think that we'll continue to take some big risks this year. I don't think it paid off as well as you think it did Chibnall. But you can do that and also give people all the stuff they love about Doctor Who as well. You balance the two. So it sounds like he's admitting that they basically just took it in a 180 from where it was before to try to chase this new audience. And it sounds like if you read between the lines, they're going to try to bring back the old school fans too, you know. But the thing is I think there's so much out there for geeks, quote unquote, to watch now that it's going to be hard to bring people back. You're going to have to prove to them that you don't hate them. You're gonna have to prove that you're not just deliberately trying to drive them away. And it sounds to me like they're flat out admitting that they were trying to chase a new audience. You know, they were basically like, yeah, we already had the old fans in the bag, so we're gonna do something completely new and get all kinds of new people on board. And then when the numbers didn't come in like they were expecting, it's like, well, yeah, we're gonna go back to bigger, better, bolder, exciting Doctor Who. Risk is built into Doctor Who from day one. That's true. No question of that. Though, at least we know now there's not much of a risk of being the last year of Doctor Who or even the last year for Chibnall. And most likely his cast, after all, how could the 13th Doctor not get to Series 13? Wouldn't that be ironic if the show got canceled in Series 13 with 13th Doctor? That would be kind of sad, actually. So, Tosin Cole is slamming people. So now they're getting on the press. This is how this works, right? They have a new season coming out. So now the media is going to start talking to the actors and the people behind the show, and the rumor mill is going to fire up, and the leaks are going to come, and yada yada. This is how it works. We know this is how it works because there hasn't been a lot of news for Doctor Who. But Tosin Cole is angry that people were not real thrilled with the Rosa Parks episode. You know, of course, the Rosa Parks episode did not have a monster as the bad guy. It basically had a neo-Nazi from the future that was the villain in the episode. And it was only 3 episodes in, and it was probably the most heavy-handed episode of Who in a long, long time. And it did turn a lot of people off, you know. And now Doctor Who dealing with history, you know, I'm not going to argue that this wasn't an important historical event. I think, you know, just people were like, well, why did it have to be so heavy-handed? And I'm kind of also torn about that too, because I'm like, well, it really wouldn't suit the storyline to have some doofy monster in a rubber costume, you know, be the villain in a Rosa Parks story. But I think people were just like, why did we have to go there at all? Just go to outer space and blow stuff up. So, again, you know, a very different show. So Doctor Who star Tosin Cole hitting back at criticism of the show's highly acclaimed Rosa Parks episode. So it went to 1950s Alabama. While the episode won an award for its positive social impact, a reporter brought up criticism that it was too preachy during a recent press event with cast attended by Digital Spy. Racism is one of the most current things going on today, so the criticism is just ignorant for them to say that in a sense. So this is Ryan Sinclair, companion Tosin Cole, not to like get angered by it, but those issues are still going on now. That's why it was so refreshing to see them, because you're seeing someone who's having the struggle years ago and still see that struggle today, but in a new way it hits home. I don't think it was preachy in any way. I think it was just reigniting a fire that, you know, these issues are still going on today, and it's going on now as well. Let's be aware of what's going on. Yeah, you know, it is true. It is true that these issues are still going on. And I'm certainly not going to lie and say it's not true. But I think the problem people had was like they watched shows like Doctor Who to get away from how shitty the real world can be. And again, you know, Who's tone changes over the years, but for the most part, and even though there have been some social messages in Doctor Who, for the most part, people watch it because they want escapist entertainment. You know, they could always pull Next Generation and deal with racism or speciesism with, you know, the alien in the rubber suit, you know, being a stand-in, I guess. I don't know. I think it's one of those things where the world is so polarized right now. The political climate is so polarizing right now that to drop an episode like this 3 episodes into Whittaker's run, you know, was a huge gamble, and it paid off in some ways, obviously, because they got an award, but it did turn a lot of viewers off. Now I still watch the show for a few episodes beyond that, And I just got bored. I'm going to be honest. I think people just got bored, and I think people are like, I see this every day on the news. You know, I don't want Doctor Who to be the news. I don't want Doctor Who to be the news. I just want Doctor Who to fight aliens and junk. And maybe people are expecting too little from the show. Maybe the showrunner thinks too much of their place in the entertainment landscape. I don't know. But anyway, it does appear that there's going to be more of the same in Series 12, just maybe with a bigger budget. And Series 13, Chibnall's sticking around. So if you didn't like Series 11, you're probably not going to like Series 12. You're probably not going to like Series 13. I'll give it another chance. You know, I'll watch the first couple episodes, but if it doesn't do it for me, then I'm sorry. I have very, very little time to watch TV these days. So it'll probably just get dropped until God knows when, which is sad. Doctor Who was my favorite show for a number of years. And I never thought I would just be bored and be done, you know. And the same thing happened with Star Wars. Like, I never thought I would just be done with Star Wars. Star Wars and Who were my two favorite pop culture franchises, and I'm pretty much I've had my fill of both. So maybe I'm just getting old. Who knows? Who knows? All right, so I'm gonna wrap this one up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, and we'll talk to you guys later. Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.